Very good afternoon, students. Today we are here for Success at CA exam for Foundation Paper 1 Accounting. I am CA Priyambada. Your guide for the students will help you how to prepare. I am sure you must have prepared yourself for September exams and now how to revise, how to keep yourself balanced and how to achieve good marks in your examination. Very warm welcome to all the students here. This session is for the upcoming students and especially for the students appearing in September 2024 examination. I can see many of you are here and see students, this is paper 1 accounting, your first paper of CA foundation course. So your first paper, that means the backbone, the first start. If it is good, then it will be very helpful for you. You'll be confident enough that yes, you'll be able to secure good marks. So your paper should be very good. And I'm sure you'll be able to get good marks in this paper. This is a very scoring and very easy for those students who have already studied this subject in your 11th and 12th, that is who are from the commerce background. This paper is just a revision paper for you, including few new topics. But for those also who are from non-commerce background, this will be very topic for you. So you'll be able to, I'm sure you're able to understand this. Accounting is a very easy, a piece of art. You'll be able to understand it. You'll be analyzing that how you can achieve good marks in your exam. I would request everyone to keep yourself on mute so that I can explain you few things. Then you can I'll be giving you time. Obviously, we'll have an interactive session. We'll be having a discussion, and to check that you all are awake, since it's an afternoon time, I would be asking you few queries, a few questions, so that I can analyze that you all are awake here. Okay, so this will be a very informative session. Your exam is on 13th of September, so you have around 14 to 15 days in hand with you. So make the best use of it. You'll be able to secure good marks in your foundation exam. See, students, this is a chartered accountancy course, not a normal course. This is a professional course. For that, you have to be concentrate, you have to be professional enough in your studies and sincere enough in order to, you'll be getting a good charter of a chartered accountant. So you have to be confident enough and you have to be sincere enough, dedicated enough for your studies to achieve good marks in your examination. So coming towards your paper 1 account, comprises of 11 chapter, and all the chapters are equally important and different in all aspects. See, chapter 1 and 2 forms the basis of accounting. For the commerce students, those who already, this is just a piece of art, right? For chapter 1, the theoretical concept, and chapter 2 is accounting process. This will form a basis of accounting. I'm sure you have started your preparation with this topic only. And for those you have already done with these chapters, tell me if the temporary how to build for constructing new building, and this will be vanished after the construction is complete. Will it be a capital revenue expenditure? I would like to know. Please raise your hand. I'll be asking you the query. Okay? Please raise your hands.
ये वही फॉर्म मतलब एग्जाम में क्या करना है, करना है.
Yes, Riddhi, tell me. Riddhi, you can answer.
Ma'am, it will be a capital expenditure.
Nice, very good. Yes, I'll be giving you a brief. I think let's start with a brief introduction, and please keep yourself mute. Okay. So yes, it will be a capital expenditure, Riddhi. Yes, for chapter 1 and 2 forms the basis of your chapter 2 incorporates many topics. For example, first, journal entries. In the journal entries, all easier journal entries, normal journal entries, you all are already aware of. But yes, there is something called accounting for GST. Output GST and input GST. Output GST is always linked with the purchases, and input GST is linked with the sales. So what is, whenever we are selling something, we'll be receiving GST from the first journal entry. In the journal, uh, taking the GST on the behalf of the customer and depositing it to the GST department. On the other hand, when we are purchasing something, we'll be giving along with the purchases amount, we'll be giving GST along with the purchases amount. That credit will get and we can adjust that credit with our input GST. That you must have studied in your chapter 7, accounting for sole proprietorship. We have a illustration out there. Okay, so journal entry is a very small. Please go through these journal entries very properly. Illustrations 7, 8, 9. I think 3 illustration pertaining to specifically for GST. Please go through these journal entry. In fact, in June 2024 examination, the question has been asked from this. All right. Then coming to the ledger. Ledger is how to incorporate all these, post these entries into a ledger account. Then we have a trial balance. There are 3 types of trial balance, which you have already seen. See, usually a small questions also asked from these chapters. So please be very focused and very careful for this chapter. Okay. Then cash book, we have 3 types of cash book. One is a single cash book, simple cash book, which we have only cash account. Then we have a double column cash book, whether along with the cash account we can have debit and credit side of cash account, we can have a discount column or the bank column. And for the normal cash book, we have 3 columns that you all are aware of it. Okay. I'm just giving you a brief overview of these basic concepts, just in order to help you out to review the things, to revise the thing. Then come out to be our subsidiary books, different types of subsidiary book. The point which is to be noted in the subsidiary books is that whether the cash purchases, cash sales, bills receivable, bills, cash, everything related to pertaining to cash, will it be coming in the subsidiary books or not? Tell me. Do we need to record these cash entries in the subsidiary book? Cash purchases, will it come in purchase books?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So along with this, then we have a chapter called rectification of errors. Students usually find it difficult, but it is a very simple, very easier topic. We have different types of error: principals error, errors of omission, error of completion, and error compensating errors. Then the differentiation of these errors you should be aware of. Error of omission could be partial omission or complete omission. Partial omission is the one omission in only one account. Then complete omission is totally omitted, right? Then error of principle is change when we have any head, the basic principles are wrong in the entry. That is error of principle. Then compensating errors, one error is compensated with the other error are the compensating errors. So then we have those questions when the errors are occur before preparing trial balance, after preparing trial balance, or after finalizing account. When to use suspense account, when to use P&L adjustment account, you should be very careful, because student usually does this mistake. Rather than using P&L adjustment account, they use a suspense account. See, the P&L adjustment account is used when the accounts are already finalized, but when we came to know that these are the errors and these are all prior period items, then because these has to be corrected during the next year. Okay, so these two chapters forms your basis of accounting. Fine. Then coming towards chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, and chapter 6. These all are individual chapters, different chapters. You should go through all these chapters individually, solely. Any question can ask from these chapters. All right. Coming towards the financial statement. At this stage, now the student is expected, the basics have been cleared. Excuse me. the basics of the students are clear now. Now they are ready to prepare a financial statements. So financial statements for sole proprietor, then for financial statement for non-for-profit organization, and then the incomplete accounts from incomplete records. Coming towards the financial statements from sole proprietor, how, where to and what to prepare in sole proprietor, what are the different adjustments. If something is given in trial balance, where do we have to post it? Fine. The very easier question you must have done in your 11th and 12th also. And another thing, why to prepare, when to prepare manufacturing account and when not to prepare manufacturing account. So these questions should be taken care of while solving this question. The very simple funda to solve this question is, I know these questions are long, it takes a considerable time, maybe around 15 to 17 minutes for you. For this, what you can do is you go through the question first. That you will be doing it in first 15 minutes, of course. All right. And now you're aware that we have these adjustment. That is the provision of bad debts value adjustment. Then we have another adjustment, maybe the prepaid expenses and outstanding wages. You just keep it in your mind that these are all adjustment in this question. So while solving the question, prepare the format of trading P&L and balance sheet. Now uh, uh, posting each and every item of trial balance into your question. If it is a trading purchases, then put it in trading account. Then it is a, if it is a, do not make very big format for P&L, trading and balance sheet. Okay, I know you'll be able to analyze that this much amount of page is required for doing this question. Okay, this way you'll be able to solve the question, solve adjustment along with the trial balance figure. So put all the trial balance figure along with the adjustment. So you'll be able to solve and tally the balance. After putting everything in from the trial balance to the adjustment to trading P&L and balance sheet, then start totaling. All right. Then analyze what is the gross profit and the net profit and then the balance sheet. All right. So this was for the sole proprietor. Coming towards the NPO, not for profit organization, these are the very easier question. But yes, usually students stick the question whether the entrance fees is to be capitalized, what would be the subscription treatment, how it is to be treated in receipt and payment, and how it is to be treated in income and expenditure. If the question asks me to prepare income and expenditure rather than receipt and payment rather than income and expenditure, which I have practiced a lot, then I'll be able to analyze. Students, see the basic difference between receipt and payment and income and expenditure is, for the receipt and payment, whatever you have received, amount you have received and paid is to be taken care of in this account. The name itself says. And for income and expenditure, whatever you have earned and whatever expensive you have incurred has to be taken care of in income and expenditure account. All right, this is the second name of P&L account which we use in the income and expenditure is the second name of P&L account which we use in our sole proprietor. So please be very careful for outstanding prepaid expenses, outstanding expenses and incomes while calculating the subscription figure. Then the next point comes out to be entrance fees. Are these to be capitalized or we have to show it in our income and expenditure or receipt and payment account? Students, see the question. If they want something that this percentage has to be capitalized or this has not to be capitalized, then do it as per the question. And if you are capitalizing it, if the question is silent then and you are capitalizing it, please do capitalize and give it a footnote. Give it in a note that I have capitalized entrance fee has been capitalized. And if you're doing it through income and expenditure, then also give it a note. All right. So this comes out to for NPO as well as for the sole proprietor. Then the third chapter comprises of accounts, basic accounts from incomplete records. That is a single entry system where sometimes we are dual entry in our accounting. That is why the few things does not tally or few things we are unable to find. For that we have to different account. For example, we have purchases. Purchases during the year, that is only the cash purchases we have. We have to calculate credit purchases. How can we do that? We can do that through creditors account. We can calculate, we can prepare a creditors account, and then we can calculate the total purchases. Total purchases would be cash purchases plus credit purchases. All right. So this way, these questions are a bit long, but yes, a very scoring topic. Accounts for incomplete records is given for you guys' convenience. This has been newly incorporated in our new scheme. It is for you so that you can able to secure good marks. And these are very easier questions. Once you have started this question and you have started calculating the figures, maybe for debtors or creditors and things like that, you'll be able to solve the full question. Very easier question based on the concepts only. All right, then I usually receive queries from partnership account as well as companies account. These two topics are the big topics of your course. I understand partnership is the big topic coming towards partnership, but it is very scoring and very easier. Please see for the adjustment. Please read the question, what is mentioned there in the question. Okay, for example, we are starting the chapter with fixed and fluctuating. Sometimes the question asks from fixed and fluctuating capital also. Where to use capital account, where to use current account, you should be aware of it. What is the question asking you? All right. Okay, I receive a query from partnership only. Let me see that. Ma'am, Miss Yamuna is asking, ma'am, partnership I have completed, admission and dissolution, but retirement and death I have not received. Then please read that, no, retirement and death, you please go through it. Then how to calculate goodwill. What are the various methods used and how it is to be used if you are using a simple average method, whether to use simple average or weighted average. Please go through these small things also, because we usually tend to leave these things, but we should not leave this thing. Each and every topic, each and every line is important for the study material. Okay, so go through it. Then how to calculate P&L appropriation account, what is interest on capital, interest on drawing, and in the absence of partnership firm, in absence of any partnership agreement, what should be our interest on capital, whether we have to distribute the profit or not, interest on loan, interest on drawings. These all things are given in your study material. Please go through it. A question can be asked from this also. Okay, then coming towards the admission of partnership, during admission, what needs to be taken care of, and how the sacrificing ratio, what would be the sacrificing ratio, since we are admitting someone. If we had two partners, now we'll be having three partners, so we are admitting someone, so obviously some of the share of first two partners has to be taken to give the share to the third partner. So we will always calculate sacrificing ratio. Sacrificing ratio is always old minus new. Old minus new, please understand. And in the same way, the retirement which is old, that is old ratio. So please be very careful very careful while solving the admission question. See all the adjustments, how the adjustment has to be treated. Is there any journal reserve? Any reserve has to be distributed in the partner's capital account? What is the revaluation amount? Very careful. Then coming towards, after doing the retirement admission, then coming towards the retirement, the adjustments, revaluation account preparation, adjustments have everything are almost same, but yes, as I told you, in the admission we prepare this sacrificing ratio we have to know. For retirement we have to know gaining ratio, since one person is retiring here, so we have only the remaining partners, his share will be distributed among those remaining partner. For that we have to calculate the remaining gaining ratio. Okay, very common adjustment is a hidden goodwill adjustment. Sometimes only the share of new partner or the going partner is given. For example, new partner share is only given that this much has been taken by the new partner. The incoming partner is coming with this share. So we have to calculate total capital. Then out of the total capital, what is the hidden goodwill? Then we can distribute it accordingly, make the adjustment accordingly. Okay, coming towards the death of the partner. For that, we have a section out there. Please go to the study material. We have a section 39 where we have clearly mentioned what is to be done during the death of the partner. Okay, coming towards the dissolution of the partnership firm, where we have to prepare a realization account. In the initial, all the units we were preparing revaluation account, now we'll be preparing realization account. Why are we preparing realization? Because now the firm is going to dissolve, so everything has to be sold out and all the debts has to be cleared out. For that we have to prepare realization account. Okay, and while preparing the realization account, what is either the profit or loss will be calculated, and after receiving profit or loss, we'll be distributing in our partners capital account. All right, then comes to our main our one most important chapter, one of the important chapter, that is company account. This is not only be useful here, it will be useful here for your inter level as well as final level also. Fine. So company account, what are shares, what are debentures, what are different types of shares, what are the share capital, different types of share capital, and how it is, what is schedule 3, how the extract is prepared, then debentures, different type of debentures, how the shares are issued, how much amount is received on application allotment, when the shares are to be forfeited, when they are to be reissued, and if they are reissued, how the amount is to be, what amount is there, what is to be put in capital reserve, and all these questions should always take care in your mind, and please solve these questions as much as you can. For example, in redemption of preference shares, if you see the June paper, the clear question from the study material came from redemption of preference shares. It was that easier. Then how the amount, if we are redeeming anything, the shares are not fully paid up, then we have to make a fully paid up share first, then we have to redeem the shares. And how this redemption amount will come? Maybe by the issue of new shares. So how the new shares are to be issued? First the new shares have to be issued, and then that amount is to be adjusted for the used for the redemption for preference shares. Okay, I just gave you a brief introduction of your syllabus for the session so that you can have a idea. You already have an idea, just a brief overview of the syllabus. Okay, now I would like to help you out to let you know, since you've already gone through the syllabus, that how to attend the and what all and how much would be the section wise and weightage for this paper. Let's see. Let's first see that what would be the section wise weightage for the paper. I'll take out. Can you see that? Um,
No, ma'am.
okay, wait. I'll be telling you right away with this only. Okay, for the section wise weightage, first section comprises of section 1. Section 1, which is 5 to 10% of your marks, which covers only chapter 1. Chapter 1, usually students skips chapter 1. Why? Because it's a theory chapter. Why do we ask that? Why will they ask that? But that is a very important chapter. The theory question can be asked in your paper. So it is very important chapter, theoretical concept. It is not only important for securing marks, but also for your basic concept. For example, tell me one thing. If there is a change in method of depreciation, what is this change? Is this a change in accounting policy or a change in accounting estimate? Who will be telling me? Wait. Yes, can you please raise the hand? Who will tell this? If there is a change in method of depreciation, is this a change in accounting policy or accounting estimate? Nobody is raising the hand. Yes. Tell me, Simran.
Some change in accounting policy.
Is it a change in accounting policy? Okay. Who else? Anyone else?
Ma'am, accounting policy.
Okay. I am asking you for the change in depreciation, method of depreciation. It is not a change in accounting policies. It is a change in accounting estimate. Okay. It's a change in accounting estimate, not change in accounting policy. Why? If we are changing it to prospectively, not retrospectively. Okay. Coming towards section 2. I think one of the student has said right. I tell you. Jayant. Okay. So now section 2. Section 2 comprises of many chapters. Section 2 comprises of chapter 2, which is accounting process, the basic concepts. Then chapter 3, which is bank reconciliation statement. Chapter 4, inventories. Chapter 5, depreciation and amortization. And chapter 6, which is bills of exchange. So we have this much, 5 chapters in this section, which comprises of 30 to 35% of marks. See, hard work is important. Along with hard work, smart work is also important. Please see the weightage, 30 to 35%, and such easy topics. They're not difficult at all. Accounting process you've already gone through. Bank reconciliation statement is very easy. Then coming towards chapter 4, inventories, how the various methods of, what are the different methods of inventory valuation. Coming towards depreciation and amortization, it is not that easy, difficult. And bills of exchange. So it comprises of 30 to 35% of marks. Usually questions from 10 number, 5 numbers are asked from this weightage. Okay. Then coming towards section 3. Now this section 3 comprises of preparation of financial statements. And we have whose chapter? Which chapter? Chapter 7, sole proprietor. Chapter 8, NPO. And then chapter 9, incomplete records. We have all these chapters in this unit. It also comprises of 20 to 25% of weightage. This is also a good amount. All right, 20 to 25% of weightage. This is the most, section 2 is the most scoring area. Since these topics are very easy and you are easily able to secure 30 to 35% of marks. And it usually takes a very less time as compared to the other topics. Very less time. I understand that financial statement preparation takes time, 10 to 12 minutes if you are very much through with your topic. So you can secure easily 20 to 25% of marks in section 3. Coming towards section 4. This whole section comprises of partnership account, that is chapter 10. We have 6 units. And how much is this partnership for? 15 to 20%. See, such good amount. 15 to 20%, a very good amount and a very decent amount. 15 to 20% means if you are through maybe 1 or 2 questions, if you are through with this unit, you'll be able to secure the marks. All right. Section 5 comprises of company account, which covers 15 to 25% of weightage. All right. So, smart study. Along with the hard work, you should study smartly also. Okay. These are all the section-wise weightage. Now, I would like to tell you about your question paper. How your question paper will come. It will come it will be comprising of 6 questions. Fine, question 1 would be compulsory, and out of the remaining 5 questions, you have to solve 4 questions out of those 5 questions. Each question will comprise of 20 marks. Now, question 1 would be compulsory question, which contains 6 true and false questions. You must have seen in the end of every unit of study, you have true and false questions for practice. And also students, please go through the corrigendum which has been hosted on ICAI website. There are few printing errors, typo errors on in the study material also. So you can go through your corrigendum which is hosted on ICAI website under BoS knowledge portal. All right, along with the study material. Fine. So coming towards the paper, now question 1 would comprise of 6 true and false questions. True and false questions are very easier question. If you are aware of it, you'll be able to give replied right correctly. If you're not aware, you'll be in loop, right? 6 true and going to be a chartered accountant. They'll not ask you to just give a true or false. So please give a correct. Two questions of 4 marks each, which will be either a practical question or either a knowledge based question. It could be a theory question also, ask you, please write about this. Maybe please write about cash basis of accounting or mercantile basis of accounting, or please write about how a chartered accountant can be useful for our society. These questions all usually pertains to chapter 1. Usually. I'm not saying that it'll come from chapter 1 only. All right, because the examiner has a choice, they can ask from any topic. All right. So, acha, now solving for the theory question. I'll come to that also. I'll come to that later. First, let's discuss the paper pattern. After that, the third question could be a knowledge-based question, a theoretical question also, or it could be a small practical numerical question. Now, coming towards question number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All these questions will comprise of either 2 units or 2 parts or 3 parts. Either they have choice in one part, or they might not have the choice. But yes, every question will have part. You'll have to dedicate each and every part a specific time to solve the paper. All right. They might give you a choice out of 2. You have to do 1. So please solve it accordingly. Choose selection is very important at this stage. All right. Now, when you're going to examination hall, you'll be given the question paper 15 minutes before the examination. Those 15 minutes are the golden period. All right. At that, strategize yourself. Read the question paper very clearly and very properly. That what is being asked in the question paper. Question number 1 is that, and it should usually take maximum 15 to 17 minutes. That's it. You should able to solve this question, the full question, in maximum 15 minutes. Since true and false are easier questions, and theory should not take much time, since it will be a 4 marks, and the numerical question which could be asked could be the easier one. A 4-mark question will not take much time. Okay, so now this 15 minutes, what you have to do, you have to go through each and every word of your question paper. Start reading the question paper with open mind. Though that 15 minutes, your concentration should be at peak. Read each and every word very thoroughly and very properly with an open mind. Please see what the examiner is asking. Okay. When you have gone through the whole paper, now analyze yourself from 2 to 6, which questions you'll be able to solve it and which question you are going to leave that. Okay, sometimes what happens, ma'am, 3A I know, 3 and 4B I know. I don't know 3B and I don't know 4A. What to choose? These 2 questions have to choose. What will I do? My perception. I know 3A, but I know little bit of 3B also. 4B, I am not aware. I know 20 to 30% of 3B also. I'll be doing 3B only. Okay. But yes, I am a very disclaimer, a very important note. You should not leave anything. Please strategize, analyze the time, how to solve the paper at that point of time, that I'll be discussing a bit in the session only. So now you have to make a choice that this questions I'll be doing it. After choosing that, yes, I am going to leave question number 4. Now, it's just an example, okay? Now, if you're leaving question number 4, think about it. Which question you'll be doing the first? Please do that question which you know the best, okay? I am sure I know question number 8 the best. I've been aware of all the concept, everything. I know everything is there. And it's from a very easier question, so I'll be doing that. start with question number 2. Okay, I know the first question you'll be able to complete with a lesser time and within a very appropriate manner with a good handwriting. Then come to the next question, maybe question number 5. I know a bit better. I'll be start doing that question. Then question number 1. At one point, I came to know that question number 5B, I am unable to solve this question. I am unable to tally my balance sheet. It's okay, not a problem. Start doing that question. Leave a considerable space for that question, for the balance sheet amount, and start doing the not waste, do not spend too much time on just tallying one balance sheet. Okay, what happens is it comes to our mind only and we keep on thinking of that only, and you should not give ample time, too much time, just to tally a single balance sheet. You might lose the question marks in the other question which you could have done during that time only. Okay, so please give yourself 3 to 4 minutes, that's it, and start doing the other question if you are still unable to tally the balance sheet. When you're doing the other question, I know it comes to your mind that yes, my last question is not valid. Please forget that at that point of time. Focus on the other question, the question which you are doing. Okay, and it usually happens at the end of revising the question paper. When you're revising your answer sheet, you're able to revise that. Okay, this was the reason that I was unable to tally the balance sheet. This happens usually to me. If I'm unable to solve the question at few point of time, if I solve after some times, I'll be able to resolve that. Okay, now the time management. For first 15 minutes, you have to read and you have to analyze, strategize yourself. This question you'll be doing first and this question you'll be doing at the end. Okay, while doing the paper, one thing which is very important is one page for one question. Do all the parts at one go only. If you're starting to question number 2, you have to do question number 2, 2A, 2B at one go only. If you are unable to do question number 2B, for example, you are not aware of question number, leave space, considerable space, a reasonable space for question number 2B and start question number 2.
Ma'am,
Yes.
some mentally inferior students are, ma'am, they have opened the whiteboard and they are like drawing stupid stuff.
Where?
Ma'am, on the Zoom platform itself.
I would request, see, this session is only for you people. Please listen to me. I would request everyone to please listen to me. A carefully listening might help you to achieve good marks. Okay. So coming towards how to do in the paper. When you're doing one question, please do at one place only. And if you're not aware of a part, please leave a considerable space and start doing the other question. Okay. Now you have 180 minutes. 180 minutes, that is 3 hours of your time for the question paper. 3 hours means you have 100 marks. So 180 divided by 100 is 1.8 mark per mark. Where is the screen?
No, ma'am, now it's not there, ma'am. They have removed it.
Okay. So telling you that 1.8 minute per mark. So you should analyze time. You should dedicatedly see how time is being running and in how much time you should solve each and every question. For example, if you're doing a partnership question usually take time. 12 to 13 minutes should be maximum. Okay. If you're taking more than this much time, then obviously there is something wrong. Or either you'll be able to lose marks in another questions. All right. So one is I told you that you should do all the subparts at one go only. Another is you should keep a space. If you are unable to do a question, you please leave a space, a 1 page or a 2 page as per your reasonable judgment, and start doing the other part of the question or other parts. Okay. Another thing is, third part I would like to tell you is, please make it very neat and tidy. The one success mantra is, you make it convenient for the examiner to check your answer sheet. He'll make it easy to answer to give you marks. Okay. Okay, Akhil. Okay, Priyansh. Could you please stop scribbling?
Ma'am, these are the people, ma'am, they fail in exams.
Okay. Chalo, coming towards the session. So this way you should solve the paper, but please be very careful. That 15 minutes are very important. Okay. Another thing I would like to tell you, people tend to read only those things which we want to read. We have solved a question during our examination. We have during the practice session, we have solved a question. The question is asking us to prepare trading account, balance sheet, P&L account, and balance sheet. But while solving the question, what in the question paper they have only asked us to prepare the trading account and P&L account, not balance sheet. What we'll do is, in hurry, we'll make trading account, P&L account, and balance sheet, and we will just lose time. You're not going to get extra marks for preparing balance sheet and the sheet. You will only lose a few important precious minutes at that point of time. So please read the requirement of the question as very sincerely and very thoroughly, very carefully. It happens. It usually happens with all of us. Okay. Then we read an adjustment, what we tend to read and what we have practiced during our practice session. We read an adjustment that prepaid expenses are this much and this is to be taken care of. And whether the question in the exam asks something different, they might have changed one word. All right. So please be very careful and very cautious while solving the question. Okay, Jayant, what is your query? Do you want to ask something? Jayant?
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to ask regarding the depreciation question which came in the June 2024 paper, and it said that diminishing balance method is being used, and they have changed the method of depreciation, and then and then it should be followed from 1 June 2020.
Retrospectively, this is what you are saying. Retrospectively, the question has asked. You
Yes,
have
ma'am.
no.
And then following, but ma'am, what I had learned that from the next year itself we will change the. But in the question it said that change it from the from 3 years back and adjust the value.
Okay. Yes, there was a little flaw, but that's okay. If the question has been asking you to change retrospectively, it's just a mathematical calculation if you have to do. Okay. And if you are not doing, yes, you're right, the change in method of depreciation should be prospective. That is from the current year and as well as for the future year. So if you have done with the current year as well as for the future year also, rather that correct. If you have done correctly. If you
Ma'am,
are
one doubt.
prospectively, please make an assumption. Please write it in the note that I am, since it has to be done prospectively, I am changing it from the current year as well as for the future year. If you have done it correctly, you will be given the good mark, considerable marks for it. Okay, and even if you are doing it retrospectively, also you'll be given considerable marks. Okay, okay. And
Okay.
other queries, if you want to ask queries, we can start with the queries also. Please raise your hand for the queries. Sanjay, do you want to ask any query? Okay, yes, Sheikh. Please ask. Please ask your query. Saik. Okay, Bhumika.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, tell me your query.
Are we allowed to make any marks on question paper, like highlighting important adjustments and
I don't
so
think.
on?
No, please read the admit card adjustment for this. I mean, all those admit card instructions, but I don't think that is allowed.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Riddhi? Riddhi, can you want to ask something?
Yes, ma'am. As the question mentioned about in the June that came of the depreciation, is there any way to achieve good marks in that question as it was really tough and a bit complicated?
See this. See if you have you given that exam in June?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay, this will be your first attempt in September, right? See, the
Yes,
question was
ma'am.
not difficult. If you would have tried at home, no, take out and try it at home. And that is what I say. If you have done it prospectively, also changing the fact that it is to be done. The change in method of depreciation has to be done for current year as well as for the future year. That students will also get considerable marks for it. If you have the concept, since it is mentioned in the study material also, so you can easily solve the question, and it is purely mathematical calculation based questions. Okay. Hello, Riddhi.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Bhumika, do you want to have another question also? Ask
No,
another.
no, 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 no. Thank you.
Hari, your query.
And should we write the answers in the chronological order as per the questions given in the question paper, or can we write it in our own preferred manner, ma'am?
You can write it in your own preferred manner. If you know the
Okay, good.
question 4 first, you can write the question 4 first. But it is better you do question 4A and 4B at one place only, rather than
Okay.
doing it differently. Okay?
Yeah. So, will we lose any kind of marks for separately writing?
No, 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 not at all.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Viren, your query? Viren, your
Yeah,
query?
ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to ask that how much marks will be deducted if we forget to write the narrations under the journal entries?
See, how much marks? This is an examination prerogative, but why do you not want to write narration?
No, no, ma'am. It is not like that. If I didn't get the time to write the narrations,
See,
like
I tell you, if the question specifically says ignore narration, sometimes the questions say ignore narration, do not write narration, then you can skip the narration. Otherwise, in every scenario, you have to write narration. It is compulsory. You have to write narration unless and until the question specifies not to write a narration. Okay? So you
yeah,
have
ma'am.
keep it in your mind, you have to write. Why
Yeah,
do
okay, okay.
okay? Unless
Yeah,
and until question specify not to write. All right.
yeah, okay, okay. Thank you.
I think Harun also has the same query. Your query has been resolved, I think. And Harsh is asking, ma'am, I have a query in final account. Can we combine? Can we make combined balance sheet? Find out the capital account. I didn't get your query. Rishikesh is asking, ma'am, in final accounts, do we have to show all the working notes like even outstanding rent and adjustment, or doing it directly is fine? See, for financial statements for sole proprietor, you can do it there only. For this prepaid rent, outstanding rent, you can write the figures in inner column and then write the combined figure at the outer column. That's okay. But yes, if it is coming out to provision for bad debts, provision for bad debts as well as bad debts, all these adjustments, the mixed adjustment are there. It is always better to do it in your um, in the working note and give the final figure there in the P&L account. Okay, if it is a big adjustment, if it is a small one-liner adjustment, you can do it in that also. Okay, see, the purpose of making working note is making it clean, the answer sheet clean and tidy, so that the examiner can give you marks easily. Okay, but while solving the question for NPO, We usually, for the subscription, we have outstanding subscription, prepaid subscription. These are many for many years, 2 years usually. Okay, for that you should always do it in a working note. Okay. Yeah, for not for profit organization, always prefer working note. Okay, I think I think Harsh is asking, can we combine balance sheet and final account? That is the P&L, trading and P&L together and balance sheet. Please make it separately. Do not combine it. It's always better to make trading, P&L and balance sheet separately. Yes, Rubhani, I told you the trading and P&L account should usually should be made separately. If you want to make it together, that's okay. It will not lead to any deduction in marks, but you should make separately. Okay. Okay, Bhumika is asking, ma'am, our narration must be as long as our as modules. See, you can write it in your own language, and it should not be that big. Okay, Akhil, you're saying the piecemeal payment for dissolution will come. I don't know what will come and what will not come. I am into the same boat as you are. So nobody knows what will come there. Okay. Okay. So coming towards how to do the questions, I would like to discuss that also. One important thing, how to resolve the theory question, how to solve the theory question. Because what happens is we have in the study material, there is lot and lot of theory written. Fine. How to resolve that question? How to write each and every question? Do we have to write in language of study material only? No, not at all. Please read, go through the study material. What is cash basis accounting? What is accrual basis of accounting? And then write it in your own language. If the question is only for 4 marks, asking for cash basis of accounting and accrual basis of accounting, you should write it only 4 to 5 lines for cash basis and 4 to 5 lines for accrual basis. Do not write that big. And for 4 to 5 lines, write precisely and deliver that deliver to the examiner that you know the meaning of this. Okay, in that meaning, it should be clear and precise and should be logical. If you're writing in your own language, it should be correct. Okay, that you are able to communicate that you know the answer. All right. In the same way, one question from June 24 came, that what are the advantages of subsidiary book? It is not necessary to write it in 3 or 4 lines, 3 or 4 pages, or 2 pages. Okay, if you know those 5 advantages of subsidiary book, you can write those 5 advantages and briefly describe them in your own language. Okay, writing in your own language will work. Another question I usually receive is, ma'am, do we need to give a very big reasoning for true and false for 2 marks since it's of 2 marks? See, student, if you know the answer and if you know the reason for it, write it in 1 or 2 line will also will work. Okay, but the reason should be correct. If you're writing in 5 lines and the reason is wrong, it will not gain you marks. Okay, all right. Usually, one question is that, ma'am, do we need to give working note in the first at the first place, or during the middle of the answer, or at the end of the solution? Working note should form a part at the end of the answer. It is always better to give main solution first and then working note, and give the numbering. Refer working note number 1, refer working note number 2. Okay. Ma'am, is it compulsory to make format with pencil or pen, or we have to please read guidelines for your card for this? Ma'am, suppose there is a theory question Simran is asking containing 5 marks. How should we write? I already told you. Please write first what is the exact meaning and what are they. Write the answer in your own language. It is okay. You can write the for own language. Ma'am, checker also used to deduct marks for overwriting. Tanishka, see, why do you want to overwrite? Do not overwrite. All right, it is always better if you are right. If you have written 3 and you know that this is not 3, it has to be 2. Please cut it with your pen and write the full figure upper one. All right. Okay. Okay. Let's. I already told you you are under the process of your preparation. I am aware that you prepared yourself once, and now you'll be at the time of your revision. Okay. Stay motivated, and I know you know everything very well, and you'll be able to secure good marks in your examination.
Ma'am, I also wanted to ask a question.
Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, in the last attempt, June attempt itself, there was a question that for 2 marks that cash basis of accounting, and I wrote that transactions are only recorded when there is cash, when there is an inflow or outflow of cash, and then transaction are recorded, and they gave me only 1 mark for the answer instead of 2.
See, what you have written, I am not aware of. No, why they have given you 1 mark or 2 marks, I cannot tell you at this stage. But
So,
yes,
ma'am, can
please
you give an answer for that? Like you give the answer for what is cash basis of accounting.
please go through the study material. See, jot down the points which they have already mentioned over there in that cash basis of accounting. You'll be able to see that. Okay.
And ma'am, also like going concern concept.
What do you want to know about going concern concept?
Ma'am, in this also, like I wrote that going, it states that companies or like are going to maintain themselves in the long run and will not shut down, and they still gave me 1 marks in that.
See, whatever examiner is giving, the checker is giving, this is out of my prerogative. I cannot comment. You must have skipped something, and either the examiner is unable to understand. That is why I'm giving you the tips that you write it in that language, you write neatly and all, so that you're able to secure good marks. All right. At this time, I would request you to focus here. Jayant.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. See, I would request you again and again, you can write it in your own language, that is absolutely fine. But yes, the answer should be correct. Answer should be appropriate and correct. All right. Okay, our greatest weakness lies in giving up. You should not never give up. The most certain way to succeed is always just to try. Okay, what happens is one usually makes such mistakes that I told you that we tend to read what we have already done. We have done a question maybe 2 to 3 times at home, and we are already aware. And suppose we're very happy, okay, this question has already come in our examination. Same question came in, but with a different adjustment, and we usually skip that. So please do not skip that. Read each and every question with an open mind. Another common mistake is we 56551. We usually write 565515. All right. So carrying forward of figures should be very proper, very appropriate. Okay. Do not change that. Please be very cautious uh, while writing the figures. Okay. So paper 1, you should study all the topic in the integrated manner. I think I'd already told you that each and every topic is in itself important and cover good considerable marks. Everything is important and nothing is unimportant. All right. Objective should be to gain ability in answering the practical question. Your practical question, your answers should be correct. You should be able to deliver what the question paper wants to ask you. Okay. We have our publications. You must have gone through the study material. Then we have revision test papers. I think you must have seen the revision test paper also. And then you have mock test papers. Who has tried mock test paper? We have 2 rounds of mock test paper. Who all have tried mock test paper? Can you raise your hands? Yes, Akhil, you're opening camera again and again. Can you please tell me, did you try mock test paper? Jayant, did you try mock test paper?
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
but like the mock test paper are always easier than the actual exam. Ma'am, why is that?
How is it easier? This, how much is this your attempt? This is first, second attempt or the third attempt?
Ma'am, this was my first attempt.
This was your first attempt. So the coming paper would be your second attempt. So how much you're
Ma'am, your voice is not clear.
how much you're able to secure in your mock test paper?
Ma'am, around ma'am in the 60s, I think.
Don't worry, you'll be able to secure good marks in your exam. Don't be disheartened. You'll be able to get good marks. Don't worry about it. Keep practicing yourself. Your calculator, your hands, and your mind should be open. Do not lose concentration in between while solving the paper. Akhil, you are able to do the mock test paper? Akhil?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So you've been opening the camera. So how much you're able to secure in your mock test paper?
Ma'am, 72.
Great. Good amount. And are you done with your preparation and everything, revision test paper?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All the best. All the very best. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
But please, if you're attending a session, please listen also. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so the relevant study material, you are already aware of the April 2023 study materials is applicable, and up to 28th February 2024, the regulations and rules and guidelines for notifications are applicable. So whenever you're studying, now you're revising, please prepare a brief note, maybe for hidden goodwill, maybe for the small topics, when to use current account, when to use fixed capital account, right? You can write it in your own language while we are redeeming the preference shares, then how to use the why to raise equity share capital, how to raise and how it is to be adjusted in the journal reserve, whether to use journal reserve or not, what are the free reserve, why we are using 52 section, where to use security premium. So you can make brief notes in your own language. At the time of revision, you'll be able to revise everything. All right. This I already told you that we have 5 sections. Section 1 comprises of theoretical framework. Then section 2 comprises of accounting process, bank reconciliation statement, inventories, depreciation and amortization, and bills of exchange. This is the most important section and most easiest section. All right. Section 3 comprises of preparation of final accounts, financial statements of not-for-profit organization, accounts for incomplete records. Then Section 4 comprises of partnership and LLP account, and Section 5 comprises of introduction to the company's account. See, points to be borne in mind while practicing the questions. Work out all the problems of test your knowledge question. All right. Compare your solution with the provided answers, the answers that has been given. At the time, mark the problem which have certain important adjustment. All right. If there is an important adjustment, please mark it. For each mark question, briefly summarize the treatment of said adjustment. Then you should write the adjustment also. Write adjustment and how to solve that adjustment and on it at the end of the question. When you practice the same question subsequently, Pay special attention to that marked question and that marked adjustment which you have written in your own language. Okay. So how to utilize best the time in your examination? Believe in yourself, stay calm, stay composed. I'll tell you, apply strategies, that how to strategize that, which question you'll be attempting first and which question you'll be attempting, what would be the sequence of solving the paper. All right. Another thing, please make yourself that much competent that you are able to solve the paper 15 minutes before the time. All right. Because you would be needing 15 to revise the paper at any cost. You need 15 minutes. So please keep 15 minutes away. So that means you have 150 minutes for 100 marks. So 1.5 minutes for each marks. So try to analyze, give yourself that much time that you're able to solve the question. Manage stress and anxiety during exam. What do we do is, if we are unable to match a balance sheet, we are usually in the stress that, oh shit, that question is not being solved. So please do not keep yourself under that anxiety and that stress. Please keep yourself calm and composed. Okay, you'll be able to solve the another question. ICAI always give you step marks. All right. So do not think that you'll not be able to get the step marking. All right. If you have done the question half, or if only the balance sheet is not tallied due to any clerical error or something, the marks will be. It's not that the full marks will be reduced. All right. I have received a query, ma'am. True and false is correct, but the reason is not correct. So I will receive marks. See, this is an examination prerogative. Another thing, the true and false comes with a reason only. All right, they are not. Examiners are judging you on the reasons. This is a professional exam. This is not your school exam that you get marks. Okay, so reasoning is equally important. Okay. Okay, now tell me, if we have given, I have a question for you all. If we have given a question that we have to calculate goodwill and the profit for last 5 years is given, and we have to use an average profit method, which average profit method is to be used if the profit is on an increasing trend? Which average method has to be used?
Weighted average method.
Weighted average, ma'am.
Okay, good, good. Please raise your hand first, then please answer it. Okay. Okay. So how to manage time during your session? Make the optimum use of 15 minutes for reading and strategizing how to resolve the paper. You have to strategize yourself how to do the paper. Go thorough all the questions quickly. Select the question that you will be attempting from all the questions. All right, mark the question which you will be attempting first. Tell the first question that you want to do. Mark the question that you'll be attempting first. Okay. Allocate an estimated time for each question based on the difficulty level that carried 10 to 15 marks, and keep assign 10 to 15 minutes for revision. Adheres to time allocated. See, you'll be able to use that time, effective time, when you have practiced thoroughly and when you will able to solve the mock test paper during the considerable time. For those who has not done the mock test paper, please take a printout of your question paper and sit yourself in a time and give yourself proper 3 hours. Right? Read the question thoroughly and then start doing the question. All right, and give yourself time within 3 hours, and then you analyze, compare all the answers with the questions with the solution given in already uploaded. All right, then you'll be able to analyze that at what stage you're being standing. So please give yourself time. time management is very important at this stage. Okay, since you have done with all your syllabus, at this stage time is important. So if you have done with the theory, with everything, all the subject, all the chapter, so do solve mock test papers, do solve revision test papers questions also. Okay, any query? Ashwarya is asking, can we use margin area for someone is saying USD is saying, can I do rough work on the side of the answer sheet? See, we usually use the last page for the rough area. It is usually written for rough work, the last page. Okay. Any query? Bhumika, do you want to ask any query? Because your hand is raised. Bhumika, do you want to ask? Okay. Okay. How to attend the questions in the exams? I told you, give all the necessary working note as a part of the main solution. Always keep yourself on mute. Please keep yourself on mute, please. Okay. Give all the necessary working notes as a part of main solution of the problem. Okay, always give working note at the end of the solution. Okay, if there are many approaches to solve the question, mention the assumption considered in the solution, since it is on the basis on which the solution is derived. Yes, if you think that there are many solutions for this answer, there can be some alternatives for this answers. So please give a reasonable alternative, reasonable assumption that this has been solved using this approach. Okay, for example, for the entrance fees, if nothing has been mentioned on the question of not-for-profit organization, give an exemption if you are capitalizing it, since it is an entrance fees, it has been capitalized and shown in the balance sheet. Give it in a note. Okay, so you should always, whatever thing you are assuming, please give a footnote, a note for it. All right. The approaches to be selected should depend upon the information and requirement of the problem. Another thing, always give a reasonable assumption. An unreasonable assumption will not work for you. All right, always give a reasonable assumption. Allocate an estimated time for each question based on the difficulty level, and marks carried keeping aside 10 to 15 minutes for revision. That I've already told you, you should always have 10 to 15 minutes for your revision. Okay. Another thing, I receive many queries for the calculator. Ma'am, do we need to take a new calculator for our paper? I would always request you use that calculator only from which you're practicing. From the calculator you're practicing, use that calculator only. Okay, you take a calculator along with you, take a spare calculator along with you. If that calculator stop working, use another one. But you, from the calculator which you are practicing, take that calculator only, because your finger knows each and every digit. All right, and your fingers note, and the fingers is used to solving. The practice in calculator is very important. You should have a good speed, good and accurate speed. All right, normal calculators are allowed, scientific calculators are not allowed. So please be very careful while going during the examination hall. All right. What are the general mistakes usually committed by the students in the answer sheet? Students exhibited lack of in-depth understanding of the concepts of various topics. Why does this happen? This happens when we only read the questions. This is a practical paper. You should always practice questions. All right. If you are only reading, see, if you have done a question once, if you have done the same question one more time, first time you have taken 15 minutes, so for the second time you'll be taking 12 minutes. And if the same question arises in your paper, you'll take only 10 minutes. All right, this comes from practice, regular practice. And in-depth knowledge and understandings come from regular practices and proper preparation. All right. One of the common error committed by the student is wrong carry forward of the amount. 565, 556 is the common error. If it is 565 and has written 556, you will result in an incorrect answer. All right, this resulted in further and loss of marks. The answer of the student is sometimes incomplete since one or two part questions are skipped while reading the question. Sometimes another question is asked. For example, in the share capital chapter, sometimes we only read prepare journal entries. But the question might ask you to prepare an extract of balance sheet also. Usually students in the haste do not read that we have to make an extract of balance sheet also. So please read the question paper carefully, which you will be reading during first 15 minutes of reading. All right. Many students do not provide all the necessary notes, working note, which forms a part of main solution. I told you working note should always form part of your main solution. See, if it is during the NPO question, all the subscription you're doing in the main solution only, that is in the income and expenditure account only, it will be a very hosh posh. It is always better to make it a neat and clean and write it properly, give a working note at the end. Okay. All right. Then student do not mention the assumption considered while working on the solution which lead to deduction in the marks. I told you, please do write the assumption. The twist in the question put by the student in the state of confusion. Sometimes there is an adjustment which I am unable to understand. That is a state of confusion which ultimately reflected in the solution or answer. Please keep yourself calm, composed, take a deep breath and then start writing the solution. Students give irrelevant detail even for small question, thereby spending unnecessary time on the question which is not required. आपने irrelevant details दे दी, you have given irrelevant details which is not required by the solution and which took you a long unnecessary time which could have been used in any other question. Okay, it is always advised the student should restrict their answers according to the marks allocated to that question only. If it is a 10-mark question, please write whatever is being asked in the question. All right, do not give extra thing. There are some few common do's and don'ts. Do not go for selective study. I already told you. Then focus on the theoretical and conceptual understanding. Do adequate practice on illustration. Test your knowledge questions. This will help you to manage time and attain speed. Be careful while using the information given in the question for solving the question. Okay, assess your preparation level by attempting the previous year question paper under mock examination condition. All right. I told you to attempt the mock test paper. Okay. Is calculator allowed? Yes, you're allowed to use the calculator. Battery operated up to 6 functions, 12 digits, and 2 memories allowed. And scientific calculator is not allowed. How to round off? Please be very focused. See here, please. How to round off the digits? Rounding off is generally preferred up to 2 decimal or 3 decimal places. Like for example, 65.888765 is to be rounded off to 65.89 or 65.889. 2 or 3 decimal round digits, not more than that. Okay. How to manage time, that I've already told you. Now, what is to be done during the last day of your examination? Since you have practiced everything, since you have gone through each and every topic very thoroughly, practiced everything, I know you'll be able to secure good marks and you'll be able to achieve good marks in your exam. But yes, at this point of time, revise everything. Now give yourself time. See, during these 14-15 days, you have to study for 14 to 15 hours a day. It is very convenient to study for 15 hours a day. Very easily you can study. Stop everything, stop yourself from social media, stop yourself going outside, hindering here and there. At this point of time, this is the right time. You'll be a chartered accountant. At this stage, you should not waste your time. I would request you all to be focused, to be dedicated towards your studies. This will be beneficial for your future. All right. So start practicing from this day only. Give yourself 15 hours, and it is not important to study one subject a day. You can study all four subjects also. So you have to make your own timetable and revise everything at this stage, and keep yourself away from social media. What your friend is being studying and what he or she has already studied is not important. What you are studying is more important. All right. So your studies are more important at this stage. And then during the last day, have a good sleep, good food. Please have a balanced diet. Have a good healthy home food, and devote 10 to 15 minutes with your friends. Talk to them that how they are feeling and how you are feeling, and be relaxed, be calm and composed. Give yourself a positive affirmation that yes, you'll be able to secure good marks in your examination. So please be very positive, and while going to the examination, please revise everything. It's okay, you can revise. Everyone has their own way of reading and revising things. But yes, keep yourself calm and composed. Do not lose your temper where if anything, I mean, if a balance sheet is not tallied, if the question is not done as per your expectation, do not lose everything. All right. Always be positive, be affirmative that yes, you'll be able to solve the question. All right. If there is any query, please do ask me. Have a good homemade food at that day, and a good sleep. A good sleep is very important. At least have 6 to 7 hours sleep before the examination. All right. And once you are done with your foundation paper 1 accounting, stop that. Start with your new law preparation. Do not think about it much. Okay, Yash wanted to ask something. Please ask, Yash.
Ma'am, how to manage stress during the exams? Actually, previously I failed to do it, and because of that, main questions got less marks for me.
How to manage stress?
Yes, ma'am.
See, why you stress? This is the most easiest paper, most easiest and the scoring paper. There is no stress. See, nothing will happen. Don't worry. You have already prepared yourself well, and try to do mock test paper once, and analyze your mistakes where you are lacking. Analyze it, and then you'll be able to correct your mistakes also. And please be calm and be composed. I told you, take a good sleep of 6 hours, have a good food. Do not stress yourself. Don't worry. You'll be able to secure good marks.
No, ma'am. Actually, in previous attempt, because of the depreciation question, I lost many time from that.
Okay, you tell me how much marks does that question contain? Do you
I
remember?
guess
I tell you.
six or eight.
No, 8 marks. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And how much marks is for your paper is? It is for
100.
100 marks.
Yes, ma'am.
So how much you're able to secure out of 92 marks?
90 to 53.
53. So 53 are not bad. Why do you think you did 53? You still had 92 marks, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So why are you worrying about it? If there is a question, and that question was also not bad, if you already know that depreciation has to be done from the current year and for the upcoming years. If you have given an assumption that depreciation is 600 for the current year and 700 for the upcoming year, that will also be not have any problem. Then
Yes,
why
ma'am.
are you stressed? You should not be stressed. You had 92 marks, right? And out of which you're able to secure 53 marks, which are good enough.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. So
Yes, ma'am.
you do not linger on with your confidence level. You're good students. You've scored very well. So in which paper did you lack? If you have
Law.
Okay, don't worry. Law session is also there day after tomorrow. Please attend that session also, but do not lose heart.
Yes, ma'am.
Even if
Surely.
there is a question 4 mark, 5 marks, either 10 mark question, but you have another 90 marks also. And there
Yes.
all the question usually most of the questions were from study material. You have seen that from the for the paper of accounting. Question number 6 say was from study material, the
Yes.
reduction of
Yes.
preference shares.
Yes, ma'am.
Question number 2A
Exact question.
was from study material. The NPO question was also from study material.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, the manufacturing account question was also from that.
Yes, ma'am.
So then they
It
were.
was exactly
Then
same.
why were you stressed at that time? Everything you know, you've solved everything beforehand during the
Mm.
practice session. All right. So do
Yes, ma'am.
not lose question, even if there is a one or two question, but you will be able to secure good marks. Think about the remaining marks. All right.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
All
you.
the very best. All the very best for your preparation.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, Bhumika, your query.
Ma'am, my MTP score is considerably very low. Please suggest me anything.
Don't worry, it's okay if your score is very low. But did you analyze your mistake? Where were you lacking?
Yeah, ma'am. You discussed previously that section 2. I was completely lacking in that section.
Don't worry, practice. You have almost very much time, good time. See, if you are, for example, if you're done with your MTP and, for example, the question of bank reconciliation is incorrect. Now think about it. Where did you lack? Are you unable to solve the question wholly, or if there is only one or two adjustment which you are not able to solve? Tell me. The whole question was incorrect. You have in MTP2 you had question on BRS also. Bhumika, are you listening me?
Yes, ma'am.
So first analyze yourself. If only one or two adjustment are wrong, then analyze where are you lacking, which why this adjustment is wrong. Understand the concept. If you are unable to understand the concept, please see the LBC class, the recorded class, and then analyze. That's okay, totally fine. And then do it again. Solve that question again. You'll be able to solve. For the BRS question, we have a table also. When the question is to be started with a bank balance, positive bank balance, negative bank balance, positive cash balance, or negative cash balance. That is there in your study material also. All right, I'm just giving you an example. It's okay, just practice. And usually students usually leave test your knowledge question. Do not leave test your knowledge question. They are also equally important as illustrations. Okay, the solutions are also given. Please practice the question from your hand. Bhumika, it's okay.
Okay.
All right. Please practice those questions which you think that you have done it incorrectly. Do it again after understanding the adjustment that this mistake you have done. So do it again. Do those questions again with a specific dedicated time only. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. All the very best.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay. Any other query? Mr. Mansook is saying, ma'am, theoretical framework is important or are not. Theoretical framework is equally important and very important. It forms the basis of your accounting. So please, you have to do that. Okay, Manish is saying, ma'am, in true and false is correct, but the reason is not correct. I'll receive. I've already answered your query. All right. Okay, so we are coming at the end of the session. I hope I am able to deliver that how to resolve the paper, how to solve the paper. Keep yourself calm and composed. Do manage stress. I'm telling you again and again, if a question, one question is difficult, other amount of paper is easy. So everything comes within, everything is balanced here. So you'll be able to solve the paper. Be very calm, be very composed. Keep yourself fresh, keep yourself alive, keep your eyes and mind open while solving the paper. First 15 minutes are equally important. All right. And all the very best for your examination. These 15 days are golden period for you. Practice as much as you can. Analyze your mistakes, where you are lacking, which question you are lacking, where which topic is difficult for you. Please practice that topic again and again. so that you are able to secure good marks in your examination. All the very best for your examination. Take care. Thank you so much. What do you want to know about in consignment on inventories? That if the goods are sold on consignment, whether the goods have been received or not, the adjustment will be done on that basis. The solution has already been given on the study material. See, if the goods are sold on consignment basis, for example, on 10th March, and the books are closed on 31st March, and the approval has not been received. If the approval has been received for the goods that has been approved for sale, so you have to reduce that much amount of goods from your stock. If the approval has not been received, that has to be remained in your closing stock. It depends. If the approval has been received for consignment on sale, that then the goods have been considered as sale, so that has to be reduced from the closing stock. If it has not been reduced from the closing stock, if it has already been reduced from the closing stock, then no adjustment is required. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. All the very best for your examination. Anji, session over. Okay, thank you.